Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy you're here joining me today. In return, I have 2 Reddit stories for you. As always, spelling and grammar mistakes courtesy of Reddit. Lol. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow. Thank you. This story is titled, Today Would Have Been 13 Years Married. Instead we only made 10 years by 26 days. So, to my ex on this day, I write a letter in the abyss of the internet. Dear ex-wife. I haven't thought of you in any way other than my ex in a while. Maybe even a year or so. But today on what should have been our 13th anniversary, I can't stop myself from thinking of you in your best and your worst moments. I remember the joy on your face when I got you a dress that fit so well it was like it was tailored for you. It was. She thought we were taking measurements for a diet plan for our 5th anniversary. I remember us celebrating the first one by blowing a glass globe together at the beach. Your artist's heart was so delighted that you did it all except pick some colors. I just shattered that globe 3 or 4 weeks ago when I had to decide if I was going to pack it to move it to a new place or if I was going to get rid of it finally. I remember your joy and trepidation in telling me I was going to be a dad over the phone at your friend's house 3 hours away for the next 2 days. So I couldn't even hug you or celebrate with you. I really feel like that's an in-person conversation for a married couple who has been trying for 3 years, but I digress. I remember your joy as we screamed our lungs out at the Third Eye Blind concert only to be shattered at catching you flirting with one of our friends while his wife wasn't there. And I was 3 feet away from you. Trash. I remember other things too. I remember you hiding in the closet after me finding out about the first affair. I remember your indignant stance and hatred spewed at me when I found out about the second one. I remember your screaming how much you hate me and how she shouldn't love her asshole daddy in front of our 3-year-old. I remember that night where you drove home from a friend's house drunk. I could taste another man on your lips. I asked you about it and you deleted. We slept together that night. I remember finding out 2 months later that you had been with him that night. You see, I know who you really are. And I refuse to fall under your manipulation today. Today, on what used to be a beautiful day, I choose to not remember you at all. I choose to be done thinking about the good or the bad years. I am not going to give you another thought on this or any other day. You are an ex for a reason, and I don't need to even have you as a thought in my brain. You're not worth my time. You're not worth the energy I spend thinking about you on days like this. So, I won't do it anymore. And damn it, I'd better grow and be a better person for it, cause it's not going to be near as easy as I want it to be. Frick off and die, your ex. Comment 1. I hear you, op. My own, what would have been our anniversary, is coming soon. But it feels like any other day to me. Months ago, I wrote an unsent letter just like yours, of the good times and bad with the cheater. Then I decided I could live just fine without them. And it's true. Comment 2. About 12 years after the divorce, I was doing some paperwork and realized I didn't remember the date I married my ex anymore. I had to call my ex-mother-in-law and ask her so I could finish and submit the paperwork I was doing. You'll get there. You'll realize in time that you haven't thought about her in years, that you don't remember what used to be important dates anymore, and that you are truly free. Comment 3. Man, I feel for you. Why do we accept any type of disrespect? Why do we want so badly to not fail that we forgive transgressions in hopes that it'll all be okay? I'm approaching 1 year since my wife cheated on me, emotionally, and then more after she asked for a divorce. I didn't fight, wished her good luck, and even helped her plan to leave. I was getting my kids, and that's all I cared about. When reality came crashing in on her, I was here to catch her. But a year later, I still find it hard to not remember the pain, or how disgusted I was at her willingness to destroy her family instead of talking to me and working together on our problems. Admittedly, it is much better now. I trust but verify, but I also feel foolish, and reading this makes me think there is going to be more, or maybe there was more. I've adopted a new motto, creed, or whatever. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't waste your time on hate, my brother. You've got a little one to be the best freaking daddy for. Nothing else really matters. Comment 4. Good way to say goodbye whilst you move forward. This year too, I decided not to acknowledge my anniversary. He doesn't deserve the space in my memories. Your ex doesn't deserve the space in yours either. Be proud of your strength. Comment 5. I'm happy for you. In the end, you only need closure. You are never going to get that level of clarity of an ex-partner. Is difficult some days. For me is my birthday. Her grandpa born the same day as I. He raised her. And after 8 years I'm not able to celebrate. Just in my mind, for a few moments, she remembers that day, and ruined mine. For the new life, my friend. For the new adventures and the new people, congrats. This story is titled, Got it. You don't know me, but there's something you should know about your husband. Message while caring for our cancer-stricken son. She sent me screenshots of texts between them, including texts in which he claims to be divorced. Apparently, he's been having an affair with her for 2 months before she figured out he was married. Our 4-year-old son has been in treatment for 5 months. Not only is this a huge betrayal at the worst time for our family, he's also risking our son's health and life by having unnecessary unmasked interaction with someone outside of our bubble during a pandemic. I'm in shock and my mind is racing. I don't know how to approach this with him. To me, cheating is an automatic relationship ender, but we've been told to avoid putting our son through unnecessary stress during his treatment, and I'm concerned that if I leave his father, that will be too stressful for him. I don't know if I should try and salvage our marriage for the sake of our son. Comment 1. Nobody can tell you what to do in a situation like this, but I think in the short term you find a way to keep the situation stable for your son. But mid-long term you need to get you and your son away from the scumbag. Start planning now. Comment 2. My babe doesn't have cancer, but he has a mess of other medical complications, and I'll tell it to you straight, get the heck out of there ASAP. You need to be the very best version of yourself for your child, and a person in a relationship like that simply cannot be the best version of themselves. I wish I would have left a lot sooner than I did. It would have been better for my children. I thought I was trying to make it work for them, but ultimately, they are better off with us apart. It gets so much better once your WS is gone. You deserve better, your son deserves better. Please don't give him the opportunity to torture you, because he absolutely will. DM if you ever need to talk. I'm so sorry you are going through this. Comment 3. As a parent of children with health issues myself, though I've never had to deal with cancer, this is horrific to me. My initial advice to you would be to document this for future reference, make multiple copies, digital and/or analog copies, and storing them in separate locations. You will also want to start documenting anything that points to infidelity. And here's where I'm having a really hard time. Normally, I'd say, decide whether you want to attempt reconciliation, but the COVID considerations are too serious to not put top priority on. If you think he has a shred of decency left, give him an ultimatum, his child or the affair partner, right now and forever. Explaining, if he's not bright enough to have already realized what danger he's putting his son in, that COVID could literally kill his son. The downside of this is that you are putting him on alert, and he could decide to start hiding the affair, making it harder for you to continue to protect your son. If you don't think he's going to put his son, family first, it may be better for you to talk to a lawyer ASAP and find out what your options are. And I don't mean the usual divorce preparations. If your lawyer thinks that you have a chance at convincing a judge that your husband poses a credible danger to your son's health, you might be able to get a restraining order against him, and that would remove him from your family bubble. The downside of this is that it may very well blow up your marriage permanently, as at least the first tactic might shake him out of the likely limerence that he is in. This tactic will very likely engender resentment in him for you not giving him a chance. No, I'm not victim blaming, I'm projecting the WS's likely mindset. I am not a lawyer, but I had a really good lawyer for my divorce, and he and I had many long conversations about the intent of family law. And he told me some pretty interesting stories about some of the situations he'd been privy to. No, he never broke client confidentiality. Ideally, you would have time to decide for or against reconciliation and go from there, but with the threat to your son, I do not envy you the choice you now are forced to make in haste. Good luck. Update to my husband cheating while our 4-year-old son has been going through cancer treatment. While he was at work, I asked the woman he was cheating with to send him a text ending their affair. At the same time, I sent him a text letting him know we needed to have a conversation when he got home. It was sheer dumb pettiness, but I wanted to make him sweat. When he got home, I told him I knew what he'd done. I told him I was not going to accept him not only cheating on me but putting our son's health at risk in a pandemic. I told him that I no longer trust him, love him, or want him in my life. I told him to pack, say goodbye to his son, and leave. He basically turned into a different person on the spot. It was like his mask dropped and he became this vindictive jerk I'd never seen before. He said he only did it because I wasn't attentive enough, meaning I wasn't sexually available as often as he wanted while my son is in a terrifying and painful fight for his life. He told me that I should be the one to say goodbye to my son and leave. But there's no way I'm leaving my son with him because I don't trust him with our son's health if he was putting him at risk just to get laid more often. After I refused to leave my son, he told me to take him and leave because this house was his before I moved in and we married. He wanted to kick his cancer-stricken 4-year-old out. Finally, he agreed to leave temporarily until we could sort out the living situation. We told our son he'd been near someone who had COVID, so he was going away for a while to keep him safe. I just hope all the changes that are about to happen in my son's life won't cause him too much stress. Comment 1. I don't know you, but I want to tell you how brave you are and how well you handled everything. Your son is really lucky to have you as a mother. I would really consult a lawyer, so your husband has no chance to throw you two out. Also keep all evidence for his cheating. He sounds like he won't let a divorce happen peacefully. Stay strong. Comment 2. Get a lawyer ASAP. Does not matter that he had the house before you got married. What matters is he moved out. Comment 3. Yeah, turns out affair partners can help exist in this escapist fantasy with cheaters because they don't have to do any adulting when they're together. They can pretend they're teenagers and sneak around, sleep with each other, hide it, but not have to do hard things like kids or financially support each other or handle the stresses of life. Thank you so very much for listening. Please check out my other videos and like and subscribe.